Hi, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the webinar. This is our fourth series on video management software or a system. So we have been covering various subjects like warehouses, how VMS can make a difference in warehouses. We have done on healthcare. We have done on data centers. So this technology is continuously evolving every day. So as you all know, DURANC, an Indian company, Indian multinational, I would say, they have presence across the globe. I'll just come about DURANC in a little while. I just wanted to tell you how these advancement in VMS is changing the way we live. Look at artificial intelligence and machine learning combined together. Integration has allowed to configure or the video images that you get. You can do so many aspects from these video images that you get from the CCTV. You know, you can in the retail business, you can talk about point of sales, control the access, inventory management, and many more. You know, efficiency of your store can be improved. So analytics and reporting, again, it's gone to the next level. And overall, advancement in VMS have made it an indispensable tool for every businesses. You can't just have a cameras and an NVR or a DVR. There are cases which I was talking to my friend Srini, you know, what made you to invest so much of resources in continuously developing this VMS. I would like to hear from him later. And VMS actually is something that you can't, you know, live without it. So why? We have experts today, both Srini and Vamshi is going to talk about how important the VMS in our daily life or in our business. DURANC, you know, is now one of the well-known VMS company, and not only in India, in US and Europe. And DURANC vision is to help businesses to maximize the potential of the surveillance camera. Today, surveillance camera everywhere. I don't think any establishment is doing without the camera. To do this, they have built a secure, reliable, and cost-effective video platform that provides users with deep intelligent analytics and insight in real time. True Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative is DURANC. They have offices in Nashville, USA, and they have R&D center in Finland and development global support in India. Both Srini and Vamshis are based out of Hyderabad. Myself, I'm Dominic here, hosting various webinars on electrical, video surveillance, and fire detection, firefighting. Anything that can make our nation surakshit, I am there. So I want to thank both Srini and Vamshi trusting in hosting these webinars. And I'm sure that this is a long journey that we are taking and ensure that VMS is affordable. VMS is meant to address your pain point. So I'm here and thank for them to have a confidence in organizing these webinars. Our first speaker is DP Srinivas, is the CRO of DURANC Tech Services. DP has over 22 years of diverse experience in various industries, ranging from financials, market, real estate, automobile, and information technology. His global work experience and extensive travel gave him keen understanding of world markets. His passion has been to identify, create innovative products and solutions to make them available to the market that need them. His passion for developing innovative ideas has made him a serial entrepreneur, founding and advising many startup companies in India. He's a co-founder and CEO of DURANC Tech Services, a leading VMS analytics company. He has been instrumental in shaping the product design and features to provide market insight. Being a voracious reader and extensive traveler, he is a strong believer in the concept of innovative ideas coupled with strategic implementation and commercialization led to creation of jobs and wealth. His mantra can lead corporate India to become a world economic leader. Nice statement from DB. Here, another friend, Vamsi Krishna, CEO of DURANC Tech Services, very passionate techie guy. He can continuously talk for hours on these technologies that are evolving today. He has been 25 years in cross-functional management experience. He is from project management, operation, technology, infrastructure, people and customer management. Again, his extensive experience in dealing with cross-functional teams and customers from across the globe, including US and Europe, South Africa and Middle East. As a head of operations of DURANC for the past 8 years, he has overseen development, implementation and support of the cutting-edge DURANC Vision Smart surveillance solution. As a technical evangelist, he advocates and helps customers benefit from and understand the limitation of the technology innovation in this surveillance industry. As I said, we are going to talk about retail business today, how retail business can be transformed by using existing surveillance system. I now invite our first speaker, DB Srinivas, to touch upon the topic and why you're stuck. You're the only company I've seen who are not diversified anything, no CCTV installation, no supply of camera. You are investing a lot of resources in developing the world-class VMS system. What is that? I would like to hear from this, Srini.
Thank you, Dominic. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Dominic. It's always a pleasure, talking to you and a lot of industry experts. You have brought up a good point why DURANC has investing more in the solution side rather than the hardware side. See, the surveillance industry has been evolving for the last 20 years in a very rapid progress in terms of hardware R&D, so to say. But the transformation of these hardwares from edge-based analytics to intelligence built into the edge devices has been slowly transforming from the hardware side to the centralized server side, cloud side implementations. The reason behind is to do any kind of a business intelligence and any kind of a video feed, particularly computer vision based analytics to do for the process improvements, for the security purpose. All these things you need a heavy duty GPU servers that can actually do the process in real time. CCTV cannot be evidence-based solution going forward. It has to add a lot of value to all the customers who really need something beyond the security per se. Coming to retail, right? Retail has been such a vast industry. Nothing has replaced as of now the brick and mortar. We are still looking at rapid expansions of retail stores across the country. That post Corona, everybody thought everything is going to go online. But now, if you see, there is increase in volume of stores that are coming, the brick and mortar stores that are coming up, and people are going to the stores and buying, the footfall is increasing, the business is actually booming now at the store level, right? Be it apparels, be it confectionery, sweets shops, or you take any kind of a merchandise. It's been transforming itself, last 1.5 years, much more than before Corona. So how do we take this business, expansions into consideration and then give a solution that actually can help them bring all the cameras together? Like hitherto, what happens is, because the growth of hardware has been proliferated like a lot, there is multiple brands and multiple makes and localized implementations of the stores. Every large chain manager or head knows it. Every localized store manager gets his own CCTV cameras and do the implementation, whichever is available locally for him, which is fine. But what happens is consolidating all these cameras into one central command control for the offsite storage. That's the primary need. The second one is centralized remote monitoring for the inspection sake. Simple example of merchandise positioned on the shelves. If you want to do remote monitoring or remote auditing or remote inspection, it should be with very ease of use. You should be able to consolidate those. You should be able to bring them onto one single platform and then group those cameras from across the geographies, across the stores, 500 stores, consolidation of one camera per store, which is actually focusing on POS area. And those 500 cameras are given to a functional manager who, when logs in, will be able to see only his functional needs, right? So one functional manager logged in, he's only looking at the footfall count. The other functional manager logged in, he's actually getting the consolidated opportunity of cameras viewing from the storage area or inventory area. So these kind of opportunities with existing cameras. Don't replace anything. Don't throw away the hardware that is there existing with you. Be it old IP cameras or be it analog cameras. Bring all of them together and do business intelligence on top of it. So that's the philosophy of the DURANC, where we can seamlessly work with any kind of infrastructure that is available and then create business intelligence on top of it. Simple example is like power saving, right? So presence of people is one of the key information that is required so that the downstream system, the camera is taking the presence of people and the number of people has been sent to the downstream IoT or downstream system, which actually controls the air conditioning and heating, right? So the variable heating and cooling can be made possible with the presence of people analytic, which brings in the number of people that are available in a specific zone. Large format stores got different requirement, small stores got a different requirement. The solution has to scale up and down for these kind of scenarios. That's what DURANC does. You are on mute, Dominic. Yep.
Okay. Let's Srini, I'm sure you'll come back after Vamshi's presentation. There are a few questions that need to be addressed with regard to the retail. So stay there, and I would now request Vamshi talk about how does the VMS help retail to improve their operation, enhance customer experience. What are the key features that retail should ask? Something that today in India, I don't think most of the retail business are connected to a command center. They are connected to central monitoring stations, and the recording of that entire stores are available in the cloud. There could be a theft. Somebody takes away the DVR and you lose entire the recording and the footage. So how does going? How DURANC VMS could overcome these challenges? How a retailer can enjoy doing business or probably improve their operation? Over to you, Vamshi.
Yep. Thank you, Dominic. Thanks, everyone, for taking the time to join today. I hope to make this time worthwhile for you. We'll probably discuss a couple of points that Dominic has touched upon right now in terms of how VMS can benefit. See, while I share the screen, so basically retail has always been data driven, probably one of the most data driven industries that we have, because there is a lot of analysis that goes on. A lot of analytics are implemented to ensure you understand the buying patterns of customers, the seasonality of the products, the various combinations. You need to plan a lot in terms of what products to combine for discounting, for example, or for as a combination products to sell. What kind of customers buy what kind of products together. A lot of analysis that goes on, but a lot of these analysis, all the analytics so far has been limited, if I can say, to data that comes out of your POS machines. That's the probably the only single point of source that you have in terms of analyzing or getting predictions or understanding the trends. Now, what we wanted to do is give you more insights into interpreting that data and the analysis that you have from your data points of POS through visual clues that we get. Like, for example, when you look at all the data from different stores and say this region or this type of a store is having more sales of such and such products, is it because the demographic is different, more women entering into those stores, more kids entering into those stores? How will you get that data? You would typically have a counter to know footfall. Footfall is probably can be done even without implementing video analytics. But you get demographic data to understand the pattern. So what computer vision or video analytics can do for retail is give you more insights and more ways to interpret the data points or the inferences that you make out of your past data. That's where the video analysis would pitch in. So let's probably go through a few points in terms of how that can be done. Before I get into those details, typical understanding of CCTV means, as we know it, is that there are cameras connected. You definitely plan a lot in terms of where the cameras need to be positioned, how many days of storage you would need, etc. You implement all those cameras, connect it to the local network, have NVRs or DVRs, storing that data depending on the number of days of storage, maybe due to regulations, maybe your own requirements, etc. And maybe somebody is watching, maybe not, but that's how typically it is. And the way it is used is also that if any incident happens at any point of time, it is then you dig into the recording of that particular day or time, the camera, and see the footage to take appropriate action. And typically what happens is that it is basically evidence management purposes. And that's how CCTV has been used. And the last part is usually that's the least of the concerns. And the budgets allocated are also the least, except the point that when something happens, that's when you get a lot. But is that the only thing that CCTV is capable of doing, or the surveillance cameras are capable of doing? So far, surveillance or CCTV was equated with security, but now it's a lot more than just security. Security obviously is a given; it needs to be there, and that's the primary functionality. Evidence management is definitely a primary functionality, but beyond that, what kind of business intelligence data that we can get? Can we understand the customer behavior patterns? What areas of the store customers are spending more time on? What kind of products they are browsing more? Then compare it with the actual sales data. So you get a lot of insights and inputs, and that's where the surveillance can help with all these points. It will determine it can help determine, not that computer vision itself will determine. So it will help in terms of all your decision making, in terms of whether it is store layout that you are doing, product placements, promotions that you are conducting, managing your inventory, all of that. The inputs that you can get from the surveillance data and the video analysis through computer vision are going to add a lot of value. And that's where we go beyond just surveillance. A quick overview of the platform of what DURANC specifically does. A few of the functionalities would help in terms of understanding what we do. So as we were talking earlier, the ability to connect any existing make and models is a key factor. Obviously, as we said, surveillance or the surveillance cameras are not new. They have been there and they continue to proliferate. But then the ability to connect all of them, any maker model, into a centralized platform for a single login. You don't need to probably watch all the cameras all the time. There is no need for that. It's basically the ability to be able to connect whenever you need to with a single login. That's what the platform provides. You will have access to all the cameras with a single sign-on. You can create groupings based on your functionality. For example, all the cash register cameras as one group, all the entry-exit points in one group, the inventory areas in one group, etc., and then have access to that. Create number of users that you need and give specific users access to specific cameras based on their region, based on their store. Like the store manager can have access to only his store. The regional manager will have access to all the region cameras. When I say cameras, not just live view, but all the analytics also. We can create time-lapse videos. You can create events, trigger events, whether it is in terms of footfall counting, whether it is in terms of detection of intrusions or loitering during off hours, etc. You get consolidated reporting of all your stores on a daily basis. What was the store open time, closing time, how many customers walked into each store, etc. So you get a consolidated reporting as well based on your role. So that is a quick overview of what DURANC solution is all about in terms of the ability to connect to any maker model of camera from any number of locations and be able to provide insights through those cameras and give you reports that you can make use of. The solution is actually built on these four main pillars of the foundation. To be completely device and network agnostic. So as we spoke, any maker model of camera can be connected from any number of locations through multiple modes. Obviously, you may have internet connectivity, broadband, 4G, Wi-Fi, whatever kind of a network. So any type of a network, any type of camera, be able to connect to the centralized platform and provide you access remotely in a secure way. Then it's completely scalable and flexible. One of the reasons why you would probably need this is the ability to have offsite storage also. If something happens, some incident happens at the location, maybe a fire accident, etc., or a theft or a burglary, then you would lose the data also if the NVR goes. So in order to avoid that kind of a scenario, you have an offsite storage for the past, let's say, 7 days of data remotely. That remote could be a DURANC cloud, it could be your own data center, depending on the need. So you have centralized storage offsite that helps you in case of any incident that happens at a particular location. So that completely scalable and flexible to decide how many cameras you need, what resolutions you need for each camera, how many days of storage you would need for each camera offsite, etc. And the ease of use in terms of the users, because the retail focuses more in terms of there are a lot of things at play in retail, competition, pricing strategies, etc., and the technical skills of the people who make use of these systems should be the least of the worries for retail. Though definitely technology is taking a role in every field, and retail is no exception for that, but it should not depend heavily on the technical skills of the people to make use of or to get the benefit out of technology. So technology should be an enabler, but not a bottleneck. So the way the DURANC works is that there is nothing to install for the user. Simply through the browser, you have access to the live feeds, the recordings, the event data of all the events, of all the reports. All of it you can see simply through the browser interface. There is nothing to install, no plugins, nothing. It makes you very simple. With a simple UI, we can probably see in the next couple of slides a few screenshots in terms of the ease of use of the platform. That was the second major aspect of the system that we built upon. Then the third is the security and centralized access with the ability to create groupings of functional groupings of cameras and have access to those at the same time on a single pane of glass. You can see all the locations of interested cameras. with complete security end-to-end, with encryption for both in transit as well as at rest when we store the data in the central location. So all of it is completely built in a secure way with zero trust security in the system. Cyber security has taken up a predominant role now in the last couple of years, and we have built this as from the grounds up in the platform from day one. When we designed the system, it is built to be completely secure with complete access controls for the users, with a multi-factor authentication built in, so that even the users, authorized users, you have a multi-factor authentication for them to access with full encryption of the data. So that's the third pillar of the solution. And the last and the most important one is the artificial intelligence and the computer vision based video analytics that are built in the platform. So this is an integrated analytics. So typically VMS meant just the recordings. Typically VMS is associated with ability to connect cameras and record them and provide you access with the recordings. Whereas analytics is again a different ball game, which is basically analyzing these video feeds that come from the data, from the video feeds, the live video, and providing you triggering events and giving you insights. We have built a system which integrates both these functionalities. So on top of any of the cameras that are connected, you will be able to apply any of the analytics on it and then derive insights. So there is no restriction in terms of using specific cameras to do specific things. On top of any camera, we can apply any analytic. So for example, even on the existing camera, we can do a facial recognition, our demographic analysis of gender and age detection. There is no specialized cameras that are required for that. All of it is built using in-house custom data sets, using GPU architectures, etc. So that's the fourth pillar of computer vision analytics. And one other important aspect is the integration, because retail has a lot of systems, and some of them could be legacy systems, with whether it is for inventory management, whether it is for your customer data, customer relationship management aspect of it. All of it, you would have a lot of systems. And now with multiple modes of transactions, both online, offline, etc. There are a lot of systems at play, and integration with all these systems, including point of sale systems, for example. So all of this, integrating with these systems is a very, very crucial aspect of it. And DURANC is very much aware and very much in line with providing the right integrations to all these systems with well-defined APIs, both pull API and push API. That's what the DURANC Vision solution overall is all about. Just to get a few screenshots to get an idea, you can have any number of locations getting connected into the system across locations with a geographical view. You could go into the level of defining or updating a floor plan and see what cameras are placed on the floor, where cameras are placed along the floor, etc. You have a geographic representation of the cameras. You can also see what cameras are up, what cameras are down. This is a crucial aspect of understanding the health of connected devices, that they are recording or not, providing the live stream or not. So you get a health notifications also if any camera goes down. So that's another important aspect. On top of any camera, you apply the analytics. Out of the events that get generated, you can do a filtering through smart search to locate for a similar looking person or an object across all the events that got generated across cameras. Provide reports which are consolidated, could be at a store level, could be at a regional level, or could be at the entire company level. You would have reports that you can build on top of the events that get triggered. And the event data, we have default reports in the platform, but beyond that, there is a possibility to export all the events data into a CSV file. So you can import into any business intelligence tool, etc., and then do further analysis and reporting. Events, when they triggered, there is a possibility to provide immediate real-time alerts. If it is an intrusion detection or a loitering in the night, let's say, for example, at a location, you get an immediate alert. We have integrations with relay devices so that hooter can sound immediately, for example, in case of an intrusion detection in the store in the night. So you could have immediate alert going out through relay devices. And notifications can be sent also to specific people depending on the type of the event also. Depending on the type of event, individually specific people can get notified of specific events, and then there is an escalation matrix of this event, should be escalated or should be reviewed by the next level person, take action, what action has been taken, the recording of those actions being taken is also part of the platform. This is another image that explains in terms of taking the video feed on the live feed. You can apply any of the analytics. There is a suite of analytics that are inbuilt into the platform, and any of those analytics can be applied. One or even more analytics can be applied on the same camera also, and schedule these analytics to run at specific points of time. During the daytime, you may be interested for the entry exit camera to do counting of the customers. Same during the nighttime, maybe you set it up for intrusion detection. So you can schedule different analytics to run at different points of time, either on the same camera or on different cameras. Both are possible. And grouping, as we spoke about earlier, and then encryption, complete security and privacy assured on the platform. When we come to specific use cases for retail, the first and foremost, the critical aspect, even without even getting into the AI usage, the computer vision usage, is that the ability to consolidate and provide a single view with a single sign-on for the user. So once the authorized user logs in, based on your definition of what that user is authorized to see in the platform, what locations, what cameras, based on that, he would have a consolidated view of all his hierarchy of stores, of warehouses, or however you define, all of that he will be able to see in a hierarchical format, both for live view, watching of the recordings of any of those locations, and the events that get triggered, the reports of those specific locations. So that's a crucial aspect of it, wherein the ability to connect existing cameras and provide you a consolidated centralized view, no matter where you are. So you'll be traveling wherever you are, all you require is a browser, securely connect to the DURANC platform, and then you get all the data on your fingertips anytime. The second aspect is related to the first one, which is conducting remote inspection, especially for, let's say, visual merchandising audits. So a lot of times I know retails that tell me that they send typically people to ensure to do the inspection, basically visual merchandising inspection, to ensure the uniformity across all stores, the product positioning, the product placements, etc., to ensure lighting conditions, design changes, etc. All of it are audited by sending individually people to stores. However, now with the connectivity of all the locations, it is possible to conduct these audits, the visual inspection, visual merchandising audits, using the platform itself directly. So you can check all the store layouts, you can check the window displays are proper or not, whether the product displays are proper or not, whether all the lighting is as per the standards, as per the design that's given, or any changes, whether each store is having the appropriate signage and graphics, promotional materials, the marketing material, etc., whether all of it is in place or not, whether they are following the standard operating procedures or not. All of it can be done through remote audits. Then looking at the footfall as well, you can see the store open closing times as a consolidated report across all your locations of each day, what was the open time, close time, and the number of people that walked into the store. Those kind of reports are possible. Then all the activity of the customers in the store, you track it, get a heat map of it, which helps you in terms of optimizing the store. Some more specific use cases, I would request Mr. Srinivas also to jump in here. This is probably we can discuss more in terms of each category, what all is possible, and typically what is measured for that category, and which areas of the operations it has a direct impact. Yeah. So understanding the customer behavior in terms of where they are spending more time, what kind of products they browse, how, in what areas of the store they are spending more time, it's the dwell time, for example. Then compare that with the products that they buy, helps you in terms of designing your store layout, placing the products in appropriate manner, and defining the marketing strategies.
So just to give a bit additional information on the footfall, generally most of the times the footfall is counted as a single individual head count, or somebody is using a clicker to click when the people come in and go out. But with video analytics, it's not only the time of the, what is the peak times, what is the low peak times, and then, what is the time that people are coming in a week, in a day. And if you take the progressive data for a 6 months period or a 8 months period, you can also do a proactive predictive analytics for the future next 6 months or 8 months, depending on the cycle, season cycles, and all those things. That should be the level of depth of footfall count that you need. The second aspect is how many unique people are coming inside. Most of the times, what happens, even your staff is moving back and forth. And if one person is coming twice or thrice a day, do you remove that and then make it as a unique faces in terms of the footfall count? We have a use case from one of the QSR restaurant chain. They said they have a lot of times they get the Zomato and the Swiggy people coming back and forth. Can you remove that head count and then create the head count as the customers to get the realistic numbers? There's multi-level of possibilities that are there. Footfall is not just the head count. So that's the level of depth you can go in terms of getting your accuracies in terms of the predictions, and then take it forward from there.
Yeah, definitely. And similar thing with even demographic analysis as well. When we understand the type of people that are coming into the store, the age group and the gender, it helps a lot in terms of deciding where optimizations are possible, what can be improved in terms of either availability of the product, the inventory management, or placing of those products appropriately so that sales can increase. Then similarly, tying up with computer vision, with the data from the VMS, with all your transactions, whether it is product return or void transactions, help in terms of ensuring that it is a genuine transaction. So oftentimes integration with POS with the VMS data would help understand the genuinity of these transactions, the accuracy, and helps in the loss prevention directly. Then you have smart shelves these days in some of the stores, where it helps you in terms of timely product replenishment to ensure that the products are not out of stock on the shelf. It may be back in the store in the inventory, but not on the shelf. It's a loss of sale for us. So there are smart shelves that help you with that to ensure all the products are in stock on the display. Then helping with the checkout process, in terms of ensuring the queue lengths, what is the typical queue length, what is the time it is taking for a customer for the checkout, and if need be, open more counters immediately, or change of increasing staff presence of the POS, etc., to ensure that customer experience is optimal and it is you get repeat customers.
So just to add one point, Vamshi, here, Dominic, most of the time what happens is, the queue lengths and all these factors, they are not in a real-time scenario. So what happens if you get the post-processed data, which after a week or 10 days you want a real, reanalysis done, then you are actually losing the opportunity of conversion into the sale and then creating the revenue. But if it is a real time, right, on the spot situation is sent to the store manager, like there are 8 people on the counter and it's been taking 5 minutes per person to be cleared. That's when you get that conversion happens automatically towards the revenue factor. These are all small factors maybe, but at the end, if you cumulatively add up, they will impact a lot in terms of your revenue top line.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that we check is also the staff presence at POS. When we say it's called minimum staffing, ensuring that there is somebody when the customer is there is always somebody at the counter. Counters are not left unmanned when there is a customer. So these are some of the specific use cases. There are available that the industry can take advantage of. The value that is created is basically based on the immediate, not only the immediate events that get triggered, but the reports that get generated, but also the trend analysis that you can see and understand why something happened the way it happened. Gives you more insights around that, and then help take actions that help improve overall business. So the decisions that you take are not just the qualitative data, because most of the retail is intuition based. You understand there is data from a sales perspective, and there is a lot of intuition that goes on in terms of whether it is positioning of the products, etc. So you have the quantitative data that is backing up your decisions that you take on the qualitative data. So that is what DURANC provides to ensure that you can leverage the visual data to improve your decision making in terms of all the aspects that you manage on a day-to-day basis. So in summary, why is it that only we would say DURANC has the right solution for you? Because it needs, whatever you have needs to have a complete flexibility and scalability. So DURANC provides you a platform wherein you can reuse your existing infrastructure. There is no specialized cameras. There is no other requirement in terms of specific cameras, specific networks, etc. It's an add-on that you can take, reuse the existing infrastructure, and also you can do an incremental deployment. You can always start with the use cases that give you more value for the effort and the cost. So you look at what makes more sense on an individual use case scenario from customer to customer, from your own scenario could be completely different from somebody else's scenario. And also within your chain of stores, there could be different requirements for different setups. So there should be a possibility to do an incremental deployment or customized specific deployments at specific areas, whether it is in terms of use cases or the depth of the deployment of that use case. So that the platform should have that flexibility and scalability to add on easily going forward. And what is required is also a customized AI, artificial intelligence solution, not just one product. There is no one-size-fits-all mode anywhere, ever, as we know, and probably we are the best people who know that in retail. So there is no one-size-fits-all. Obviously, we need to have that possibility to customize not just one simple off-the-shelf product that solves all the problems. There is no silver bullet. There is no one product that solves all the problems, but we need to have customizations, and DURANC provides these custom learnings, custom trainings for the machine learning and the neural network models that are built or customized for specific scenarios. And the third most important aspect is that whatever solution that we have in terms of computer vision, DURANC ensures that all of it is integrated with your existing systems. So it's not working in silo. The data has to flow in between both the existing systems as well as the computer vision systems. Unless there is a data flow between these 2 points, the useful information or useful decision-making information will not come out. And that's a core factor that we focus on in terms of ensuring the integration of all the components, of all the solutions that you have deployed. And then what is required is more of a technology partner, not to work as just either a software or a CCTV vendor. So that's not the way that DURANC works. We work more in tandem with your requirements, ensure we walk you through the process, because implementation of any system that's worth its while doesn't happen in a day, as we know. So it's an effort that takes time and that takes effort from both sides, and we need to work hand in hand, and that's what DURANC is willing to walk the journey with you in that process, and ensuring that you have the outcomes are successful. So we work as more of a technology partner than just a vendor relationship.
Just to add a point, we do work in terms of OpEx kind of a model, instead of making you put too much of investment upfront, because we are a VSaaS company, video surveillance as a service. Extendability is what our mantra is. Extendability in terms of your specific requirements beyond what the base platform is. So like Vamshi said, the incremental deployment and the modularization of your requirements can be clubbed together and then give a specific solution to start with, and then keep adding more and more requirements beyond what you have today. So, 100% deployment of all your use cases may not be possible to start with, but you can keep on adding those and then modularize your implementation and reap the benefits of technology at a very specific level. First of all, the basic fundamental thing is consolidation of cameras across multiple locations. We have customers who have consolidated from hundreds of locations with multiple thousands of cameras to central command center, and then start adding analytics on top of it. Simple analytic of nighttime intrusion is the first one usually they deploy, and then start adding footfall counts, store closure reports, open close reports, merchandise reports. So one by one you can actually do, so that what we are suggesting, the knowledge of technology could be more, but the user perspective, you also need to get on board where we can work together and then try to make it as seamless in terms of transformation into the modernization of your existing system.
I think that's a good point you made, because when you said the cost of implementation has been one of the barriers typically, and we providing it as a VSaaS is definitely a value add, because there is a possibility now to pick and choose what adds more value for each individual customer, because that can vary from deployment to deployment. We can pick up with what makes more sense today and then improve upon it on an OpEx model, rather than having to change cameras, improve infrastructure, build a lot more networks, or add more cameras, etc. Start with what we have today, generate useful returns out of that existing setup, and then start adding as you see more and more value coming in.
Like simply, if you say you have 100 stores, and as a first step, you want to bring in 2 or 3 cameras from the POS, point of sale counters, out of all these 100, and then that becomes 300 cameras automatically brought into the centralized management, and start doing minimum staffing, where if the employee is not there at the counter, you get an alert both to the store manager and to the central manager. That's a simple use case scenario where you are actually going for a small implementation and start scaling up. Because if each store got like 25 or 50 cameras, DURANC is capable of taking only 1 or 2 cameras and start doing the implementation with analytics applied on top of them. So then keep adding more and more as per your requirement, and then keep going and expanding modularly.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably summarizes what we wanted, what we had in mind to talk about today. In summary, it's basically we need to think big for sure, and that's how solutions come in. That's how any worthwhile deployment happens. Implementations happen, but then you start small and then scale fast, and that's the mantra how we work with, and we would like to work on move forward. Yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vamshi. I would request the participants to post your questions in the Q&A box, and both the technocrats could probably answer your questions. There's one question there. How can we prevent tailgating using video analytics?
So the question is, the tailgating is in different scenarios. So yes, we can prevent tailgating, but is the tailgating using, is it for the purpose of security, or is the purpose of analyzing the footfall? There are multiple scenarios for the tailgating. So depending on each use case scenario, our system can be applied for that particular specific scenario, and then can be used by the customer.
Yeah, definitely. Because as you said, if it is, let's say, for example, I'm just taking a hypothetical example here. If it is to control access to the high value inventory area in a store, in an area, then a combination of the facial recognition analytic along with the count of the people that are entering would help understand if there is any tailgating and immediately alert on it. So the facial recognition helps to open an electromagnetic door automatically, and then the recognized person, the door opens if there are 2 people entering, for example, whereas only 1 person is authorized. Automatically it can trigger an event, and notification can go immediately. So is it a real prevention? maybe may not, depending on what type of a door it is, whether it is a turnstile, etc. Then yes, it can prevent as well. But if it is not, if it's a door that is opening when multiple people are walking, it's not prevention, but then immediate notification so that you can take immediate action on it.
Next question is, do you have any case studies where DURANC applications are used in retail business?
Yes, we do have quite a few. One probably I will explain is the scenario that we spoke about in terms of auditing for visual merchandising. One of the large retail stores that have multiple branches here, and they've connected about, I think about 80 or 90 stores are connected for the simple purpose of remote auditing of the visual merchandising. Earlier, they used to send one person per store every week. So weekly once one guy goes to ensure that the products that they want to focus on, whether it is high value, high margin products, they are on the top of the display, on the front of the display. And there are times due to multiple reasons, it may or may not happen, the positioning of the products, etc. So they used to send one guy each week, each store. Imagine the kind of effort that it takes and the time and costs involved. Now they do that remotely from the central office. They have access to all the cameras. They conduct that remotely in an easy way.
That's a great, it's a great, one is cost saving and also information. They can always revisit anytime to investigate if there was any loss during those days, or maybe the month-end stock checking, they can always revisit. Srini, you were saying something?
So we do have multiple other use cases in retail, Dominic. You know, some are in confectionaries, like the sweets and confectionaries. We have apparels, chain of apparel stores, which use it for different purposes. So, like Vamshi said, one size doesn't fit all. You know, we have multiple ways of implementing. That's why we walk through with the customer and then say, this is all what is possible for you and better to use for you. I mean, in the case of confectionaries, you know, they have a material door that comes back into the back end kitchen area, and they don't want that to be open all the day long, right? So, and people walking in back and forth is basically creating a lot of dust, and I think they don't want to keep it as hygiene issue. So for all these stores in multiple locations, that's one key area they're actually monitoring on a regular basis. Who is actually entering from that area? Is it the guy who is delivering the material, or is it their own staff going for a smoke, right? So that's the kind of thing, granularly you can use. So it is all based on the requirement. We are not suggesting a boxed analytics or a packaged solution, where we are trying to say AI is evolving.
That's the difference between rest of the, probably because since I also look at the competition, so that's a major difference. You say DURANC doesn't give box solution. It's a customer specific solution. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. And turnaround time is not too long. I mean, when we say customization, right? Everybody thinks that, oh, are you going to come back after 6 months when I give you something? That's not the case. Our turnaround time is very swift and very fast. Anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks is what we actually take in terms of some customization is required. But downstream data push or upstream pull, whatever that data interactions between multiple solutions that are existing in their particular ecosystem, that's no big deal, because we do have a push and pull APIs. So that we can do, and we have done that for many other customers. Whether it is the vehicle number plate for the docking area where the material is getting dumped, that is sent to their downstream SAP system or some other system. There are many integrations that are possible. Let us not think this entire solution as an isolation. Silo solutions will never work unless they have interaction between multiple applications, and that customizations we are open to do.
Again, Vamshi, what are the biggest challenges a retailer face when implementing VMS, and how can they overcome?
Sorry, yeah. I lost the last point. I think you said what are the challenges they implemented. Yeah.
Yes, you have a wonderful solution. Actually, these solutions, even there are saloons now, multiple saloons. One where I stay, the guy got almost 30, 40 saloons across the country, across Bangalore. And I can see, we have like Haldiram's, we have so many, Leon Grill next to my office, they have multiple. But I asked them, when they do, how this monitor, this is centrally, no, sir, it's all, we have a DVR here, and someone comes here, collect the recording and goes back. So there are so many benefits for the owner or a retail business owner that he can benefit. But what are the biggest challenge that can you think that they can face?
Yeah, see, to just add on to the point that you mentioned in terms of just having a DVR locally monitored, not having centralized, that works if they are, that means not works, that means that they are actually using it only for the security purpose. That's when they will think that this is enough, because if there is something happens, I have a data recording. So as we spoke about during our discussions earlier, if that is how it is used, yeah, they will not probably look at consolidation. But all the benefits that you get by consolidating, like we spoke about, CCTV is no longer just security. It is understanding customer behavior, understanding your sales patterns, understanding what products sell with what kind of customer demographics, etc. So that happens, or that can come only after you have the access to the visual data which is provided by video analytics, through video analytics, I mean. So that's where they will understand the benefits. If they're using only for security purposes, they will need to take a step forward and think, how can I improve? And when there is a pain to improve, when there is a need to improve, then they will look at video analytics. That's when our solutions like us, like ours, they will see value in those solutions. Then second aspect, in terms of even when somebody wants to take up and implement this, the first biggest challenge, as we spoke about, is the cost and the awareness that's required. Lack of awareness, I would say, is that, maybe if I want to implement analytics, these days there is no dearth of cameras that provide a lot of analytics in them. So there are a lot of analytics that are built into the cameras. They have their own limitations. We cannot go into the depth of it right now in this webinar, in the session, but the limitations that are provided, people will not be aware, and they will think that maybe I have to change all my cameras to implement this. Maybe I have to change my store design completely to be able to implement analytics and derive benefits. So it's not required. And that's what we want to impress upon today, that with existing infrastructure, you will be able to take benefit out of it. So the lack of understanding of what can be done with existing infrastructure is one aspect, one critical aspect of, or a barrier or a challenge. The actual challenges will be when you start implementing, then getting down to the reality aspect of it and understanding the cost benefit analysis of it, because anything is possible in this world. We know that. But then that possibility, to make it possible, what is the time, effort, and the cost we are putting is what we need to understand. And that doesn't happen overnight. We will need to work in tandem with the customer to ensure that this makes sense for their use case. Because what fits for a very large retailer may not fit for a smaller retailer. So they're different ball games altogether. That's where another challenge is, in terms of working closely with them. The ability or the willingness to put the required effort and thought into the implementation is the second biggest aspect, I would say.
And I just want to add the point you mentioned about, Dominic, how easy it is to connect, right? So I'll just give you one simple example. One of our customer got about 400 locations with 5,000 cameras onboarded into DURANC, seamlessly working and then storing data online and doing what is required for them. And that's the size and scale that we can expand, and beyond that.
Oh, it's what I can understand. A true, return of investment, the assured return of investment, if it is rightly address the customer requirement. I'm sure. I think generally what people think, okay, VMS, I need to, like Vamshi said, do I need to change all the cameras? Do I need to change the DVR? So what you said is a fantastic point. You said nothing, no changes. Whether it is analog, whether it is an IP camera, be there. We just add a software on top of the NVR or a DVR. So there's no changes, no hardware changes. There is no cable running again all over the building. What a fantastic solutions. One straight question to you, Vamshi, like if I have a 40 store, across my city, do I need to really invest on a central monitoring station, or DURANC take care of it, and DURANC, using their cloud, probably only give me alerts, I need only the alerts of this. Can it do that, or do I need to invest on a central monitoring station?
No, there is no need unless you have a need there from a technology or an implementation perspective. From DURANC side, there is no need. We provide entire thing as a service delivered from DURANC Cloud. So all we need is we take access to the cameras, analyze the events, trigger the events, and respective events can be pushed to whoever you need at your end, to the store managers, regional heads, etc. All of it can be done directly from the cloud without any infrastructure, special infrastructure requirement at your end, at the customer end.
So what you're saying is I don't have to invest in a command center, having 10 guys looking at this and all that. So once installed DURANC software, forget it. I get whoever wants to get certain notification, they get it and forget it. Is it?
As I said, again, it depends on what you really need to do or really want to do. What's the use of use for you? Right? Like one of our customers, it's more of a logistics than retail, but then they have a command center because they have connected about 100 locations, especially during the night when there is an intrusion detection event that get triggered. They have somebody monitoring from there, but they are not watching all the cameras all the time. They only look at the events that get triggered. There is a page that they get as a command center page. They see only the events that got triggered, take action, note down what action is taken, who it is escalated to the next level, and they have a report at the end of the day, what events have happened and what was the action taken, who took that action. So for that, they are having a small command center. It's not a huge command center, but they have that command center with defined roles and who does what, who takes action, who should it be escalated to the next level if this is the type of an event. And then end of the day, you have a report of what action has been taken. So it's a requirement from the customer end. It's not the requirement from a technology or the software perspective.
So good return of investment. You also spoke about best practices in the retail business and the benefit that one can carry. Not just we all assume a camera means a security. His camera is replacing a guard. We are today talking about beyond just surveillance. You take it in the input of the video and you realize you can improve the operation of my business. You can alert me if there is something going wrong, whether it's my employees or whether my people are attending the customers on the right time. Wonderful. We can't keep on discussing this hours together on this technology, but today it's a real eye-opener on the retail business, how a VMS can transform the existing system. Truly, every retail business got a camera. Everyone, you have a look at the small bakery, they have a camera. You look at any shop. It's only that awareness, adding VMS can bring more value to my business. So that awareness need to reach everyone. So it's like anytime it can explode. I'm sure you guys are spending huge money on developing and all that. It's a fantastic business. I think DURANC, and today I don't see anybody else is developing the way you guys are developing. And so nice to interact and understand how DURANC is making a difference in retail business. You already indicated that next webinar is more on what you're talking about, computer vision, increasing important role in the industry 4.0. So this is something that even I look forward to hosting in and enjoy having a conversation. Every time I talk to you, even my knowledge also enhanced. Learning is not kind of the end. It's a continuous process. Till my last breath, I need to learn. If I don't learn, I'm lost. It's not just a knowledge loss, it's a business loss. I'm sure the audience here who's listening enjoyed this conversation, and we have posted their email IDs, Vamshi's and Srini's mail IDs. If you have any questions, please write, or always my mail ID is Dominic@DURANC. I can always forward it to them, and I believe my team is posting their website also. I wish all the best for Vamshi and Srini, who left the US citizenship and come to India and following the path of our Prime Minister Atmanirbhar Bharat. I'm sure you guys are on the right path and your business is going to be wonderful very shortly. Wish you all the best. Thank you for sparing your valuable time in sharing the knowledge to my audience. Look forward to see you again, all the audience, all the participants. The recording will be available on YouTube, and we'll be sharing those who couldn't attend for various reasons. We'll share it to them. So all the best. Enjoy the long weekend. Look forward to see you. Happy Ugadi in advance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you.
Thank you.